Hello everybody at Sport Federation TV. We again take a look at what's happening with sport in the Western Cape. Nice to have you along. You're watching Sport Federation TV here on Cape Town TV, DStv channel 263. Don't forget, of course, you can find us on YouTube as well. Nice full show for you this evening. We're going to catch up in a second or so with Dayle Feltman. He's from Western Cape Baseball, national team player, years of experience. He's going to tell us a little bit more about baseball in the Western Cape. We'll be taking a look at what's happening in the world of softball and figure skating. So nice full show tonight, as well as the Cape Winelands Sports Awards that was held last week. But let's go now to Western Cape Baseball. On the line with me is Dayle Feltman. Dayle, welcome to Sport Federation TV. How are you, Mania?
Hi there, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm good, and you?
Yeah, not too bad. If, for some odd reason, I'm calling you Dave Feltman today. It's obviously Friday.
That's my dad's name, actually.
Well, maybe we scheduled him for this interview, but Dayle, listen, let's get started. You're, of course, catcher for the Western Cape baseball side. You play in the national team. Before we talk about you, just tell us a little bit about baseball. How are we doing? Are kids signing up? Have we got teams playing?
Baseball, obviously, with COVID, we had 2 years, but things are picking up. There's kids going to colleges, so that's picking up. More provinces have actually picked up. I've heard Free States bringing their first provincial sides down for the provincial tournament for the first time in, I can't even say how many years. So things are gradually improving.
And generally, generally in the Western Cape, I know we're going to chat about this provincial tournament that's going to happen at the end of the March. We'll talk about that in a second. But generally in the Western Cape, how are we doing from a club point of view? Is baseball gaining popularity? Are the kids starting to play baseball?
Yes, I can say the season started off slow with numbers across the board, but as has gone by and winter coach stopped, baseball has increased. There's a couple of new clubs that have joined up, which is great. I can say the under 10s are, it's slowly but surely, it's coming together again.
At what sort of age do kids normally start playing, Dayle?
We got from the time they can start walking and throwing, we will get them into play. So we got kids at the age of 3 years old that are playing at some clubs that we got in a pee-wee. They called the pee-wees. So from the age 3, 4 years old, I think the 3 years old youngest play in our league at the moment. And then obviously we go all the way to masters.
Now, you're playing catcher for the South African side. I see you've got, it looks like you've got your South African kit on there as well.
Yes.
Of course, catcher for Western Cape and as well as Cape Town baseball. How much of a difference is it playing catcher versus the other players? I mean, we think of people who either throw the ball or hit the ball.
As the catcher, you're kind of the unofficial captain. Whole field. So you control the game as much as your number one person. The catcher controls your pitch. So he calls what's he going to throw, and you got to try and figure out. So catching is probably the toughest job on the park.
Do you have to be as fit as the rest of the guys?
Yes, the legs have to be strong. The legs have to be strong. We do a lot of leg work, core work. But yeah, tough on the legs and the knees after a couple of years, but still going strong.
Obviously, one of the big things, I mean, in baseball that people talk about is either home runs or the speed of the pitch. How are we doing from a speed of the pitch and a home run picture? Do we see lots of home runs? Have we got pitchers who pitch like we see on YouTube and
Yes.
overseas?
Yes, we've got a couple of pitchers that are making names. We've got Dylan Answorth that he just is a contract in Mexico. He leaves the end of the month. We've got a few guys overseas. We've got Jared Aloria that's local here, Kevin End. And I mean the guys are throwing anything from 85 to 92 miles an hour. And then we've got a South African that lives overseas that throws 98 to miles an hour.
Wow, it's quite a. I mean, it's got quite a bit of gas behind it, obviously.
Yes, no, that's taken years of to get up to those speeds.
And how difficult is it for you as a catcher to stand behind, at the base there and pick up those catches? I mean, when we see it on TV, it looks easy. But a ball that's traveling at almost 100 miles an hour must be quite hard to track.
Yes, like I say, obviously it takes time to get to it, but it's not easy. Sometimes what we have what we call the cross up, where you give the pitcher the sign and he throws the wrong sign. That's when it gets a bit tricky, when they throw what you're not expecting.
Tell us a little bit about the Western Cape Baseball Champs. It's coming up at the end of March. Obviously, all the provinces are coming down. I believe that there'll be close on 50 teams here.
Yes, it's the end of March, beginning April for seniors and juniors. So it starts from under 10 to under 18 for the juniors, and the seniors is senior side and under 23 side into the same tournament. And then from teams, exciting times for the kids from under 12s up to years is there's a national team for each team.
And
be representing South Africa.
How many matches would the teams play on average in a day in the tournament?
In a day, it would be more than likely 2, but sometimes they can push to 3 games. Nothing more than 3 games.
So it's a full day of activity. I mean, anyone who's coming down and is playing is going to be busy the whole day.
That's it. You'll play, but like I say, with the teams, you'll play 2 games, maybe 3. That will be no more than 3 games.
Is that exhausting? I mean, do you need to be fit for that? Do you have to think about your nutrition and your hydration and these things?
Yes, obviously. When you're not staying off the feet, being number one and not obviously to keep kids still is a tough task. When you ask them to sit down, then you look again and they're playing something in the background. So hydration is very important.
Yeah, and Dayle, I mean, obviously the Western Cape Champs is an important event for provincial teams. Will we be seeing from here? I mean, where do you guys go from here once you've played these championships, which is essentially the South African championships, I suppose, if one thinks about it like that? Because
that's correct.
You know, I mean, do you guys use this type of tournament as like a selection process? Do the team selectors get a chance to scout players?
That's correct. Yes. So at this tournament, we normally there's always a handful of American scouts that are here to come spot some talent. And then there's the South African selectors to select national teams. So from under 12s, 2 seeds are having an international tournament. I think the earliest one is in June.
Wow. I believe you guys did go to the States recently for a baseball tournament and it didn't work out.
Yes, the seniors went to the World Baseball Classics just before COVID. And then a tournament got cancelled as COVID picked up then, and we got sent home.
You managed to get home just on time, obviously, before the lockdown.
Just on time. If we were a day later, we probably would have been stuck in America for a good couple of years.
How are we doing I mean, we hear quite a lot of South African players seem to be getting some success overseas. Obviously, we're breeding some talent in the country.
Yes. I mean, we've got a coach now, Anthony Phillips. He's coaching with the Oakland A's in the minor leagues, representing us as a country fantastically, and obviously sends information back to help us get down here. And then you've got, like I said, you've got Dylan Unsworth. He's just signing contract after contract, and the nice thing is he's wanted. He had like 5 contract offers for this year, which was great for him. So he's putting us on the map, as well as his other guys that have been there. Gift Ngope, which was our first South African to play in the major leagues.
I think anytime you mention the Oakland A's, people obviously think about the movie Moneyball.
Yes.
Do you play in that fashion? Is it all calculated today, technology and mathematics?
I mean, when you play overseas and when they're playing for money, then all of those things are taken into consideration. Here locally, everyone works a full-time job and plays a sport that they love.
Yeah.
So there's money involved.
But from a coaching point of view, is the coaching and the playing sort of that technical, working out the averages and the strategy in the game, or is it just a question of hit the ball as hard as you can?
No, obviously a strategy. Obviously, the goal of baseball is to score runs. So when you get runners into certain positions, you want to hit certain parts of the field to try and get the runner closer to home. So, and then you'll have the bunt. And if people don't know what a bunt is, it's like a block in cricket, for example, to move the run. So there is a lot of tactics behind it, especially going to the provincials now. The higher age groups, it all becomes very tactical game, and you actually have at provincial tournament, you have the other teams watching your team and scouting to see who's the hitters and who does what to just get that upper edge.
So who do you think is going to win the provincial champs?
No, there's no competition. It's definitely Western Cape.
Dayle, we'll leave it at that. It's been great chatting with you. We're looking forward to the provincial champs that's happening at the end of March, and all the other provinces coming down to enjoy Cape Town and the Western Cape. And hopefully we'll see lots of Western Cape athletes making it into the South African side.
Yeah, we hope so. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Dayle. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us. We really appreciate it. Stay safe. There we go, folks. Dayle Feltman is the catcher for the Western Cape baseball side. Years of experience. Love chatting with him. And baseball is very exciting. In fact, I think baseball, the awareness for baseball just keeps climbing and climbing. And now today with the world of social media as well, you're able to watch it so much more easy and get involved in the game and understand the game. So great stuff to the Western Cape Baseball Federation, who is at the end of March hosting the South African Championships. And that's fantastic. We'll take an ad break. When we come back, we carry on talking sport in the province. Back in a sec.